Author Kylie Wilkie has written a book called Memories Are Forever. Now, she says about herself, she's an eternal optimist, but constantly reminded that life doesn't follow a plan. A lawyer by training, she's worked both in the corporate and the pro bono space and volunteers as the board chair of our Women and Children's Domestic Violence Refuge and on the executive committee of Women in Energy Perth. A very busy lady indeed. She joins us this afternoon. Kylie, take a breath. How are you, Kylie?
It's very nice to speak to you. How are you, Jenny?
Oh, look, I'm fine, Kylie. When I sort of read a little bit of your background, you know, I don't think anyone's exempt of things happening in their lives that are very upsetting and painful, and trying to get through those situations is very difficult at the time. So just explain, if you will, the reason for the book, because mainly the fact that you've been through quite a bit yourself.
That's right, and you don't think about these things happening to you, especially at such a young age. You know, I was 30 years old when my husband died. But the reason for writing this book is to be able to share our story in a relatable way in hopes that people will resonate with it, and it will spark a dialogue and a conversation amongst people who are experiencing similar difficulties.
There's plenty of them out there.
Well, it is. And, you know, not everyone has suffered tragedy or loss like I have, or like my daughter, Dylan, who's 7. But we all certainly have experienced loss in some way. And we all have someone special missing for our lives for one reason or another. And we really love to see ourselves reflected in them. And that's what this book is about.
Well, you know, I don't know why I think this way, but sometimes in a crowd, I look around at so many different faces and think, I wonder what their story is. I wonder what they're going through. I wonder how happy they are. You know, and none of us really take time to even question that, do we? We always tend to keep it to ourselves because others don't, we think, ever want to hear about what we're going through.
Well, I love to hear what people are going through, and not because I like to focus on the negatives, but because I think there's a real strength and benefit in sharing stories and collaborating. Because the more we talk about it, the more we find these themes are common and we're all going through it. And you know what? If we could just help each other, we'd all be better for it.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. Okay, Barry, get in here. I want to tell you my life story, okay? Get the producer crying for me. Only kidding. Now, to get these stories, you were inspired, were you not, through out of all sorts of different areas?
The story that I've written, Memories Are Forever?
Well, yes, it looks like it says here that you have some insightful and humorous anecdotes are drawn from the classroom, the boardroom, the bathroom. What are you doing in the bathroom getting stories?
When you've got a 2-year-old.
Oh, okay.
It's sacred.
Get you. Nothing's held back, you're right. Hospital mud floors in Africa. What did you do? Did you collect stories, did you?
I have collected stories along the years, and the stories that you're referring to are stories that I've made into keynote speaks and workshops that I like to share with people, and I'm working on that. But the story that we've written, the book Memories Are Forever, it's almost a tangible representation of everything my daughter remembers about her dad, even though he died the day she turned 6 months.
Oh, dear. Well, you kept the memory alive, didn't you, with her?
Well, that's the power of memories. The more we talk about these things, even if they're difficult, the more the conversation perpetuates.
Absolutely. Well, what has been the response? Because you've only just had it published, haven't you?
Well, it comes out on the 28th of November, so we're available for pre-order at the moment, and it's a really exciting time. I don't have a hard copy yet.
Oh, okay. You don't even know what it's come together like. That's fantastic. Okay, so just if you could explain a little more clearly then to everybody, it's telling your story and memories that you have and you're sharing with that. So how did you sort of collate your story in the book? Is it sort of from day one, like a diarised effect, or...?
It wasn't diarised. I was working with a coach, as you said, on stories that I could tell more broadly about my life and experiences. And she asked me to write the synopsis for my book. And that didn't really resonate with me. But I was walking around the city and I had this line in my head. As bright as our star, as blue as his shoes, I have my dad's eyes and he has mine too. And so I went home and I said to my 7-year-old, what can you tell me about your dad? And she just came up with a huge, amazing array of things. Oh, he didn't like olives. He really loved school. And so I took her memories, her constructed memories, and we turned them into, it's a poem. It's a lyrical children's book.
Oh, lovely. So children will probably get something out of this as well, I would think. Now,
Yeah, that's the idea.
and all the other things that you're involved in that I listed off there, what's a Business Chick member?
So Business Chicks is a network of professional women in Australia. I think they have in the order of about 40,000 subscribed members. I think this week they had a breakfast with Ita Buttrose, and they've hosted Richard Branson and Jamie Oliver and Elle Macpherson recently. It's just a collaborative, wonderful network of women.
Well, sharing experiences and, helping people to get that strength that's needed right through your life, that's for sure. So how now are you dealing with setbacks, failures and fears, which, it doesn't stop. It can pop up any time.
It can pop up any time. I am a pragmatist and I tend to face things head on, and I really like to talk about things, and that was the impetus for the book. We talk about it, we get it out, we start a discussion, and that helps us focus, and by sharing we learn coping mechanisms.
So how long did it take? You never get over it, a loss, never. I fully say that. But how long did it take you to come to terms with a big change in your life when you lost your husband? He was so young.
He was so young. He was 34 when he died, and he was sick for 12 months, almost to the day between diagnosis and death. And for me, that was a long enough period of time that I could see him deteriorating and suffering, which wasn't pleasant at all, but it was also long enough that I could put in place mechanisms and strategies to help me cope and to help my daughter cope and have these memories of him. So, for instance, we bought her 30 birthday presents and 30 Christmas presents, and he wrote cards to go with all of them.
Oh, lovely.
And so by the time he passed, I felt like we'd really done everything we could. But then, obviously anniversaries pop up and special times of year, and it hits you again.
Yeah, naturally.
You're never really over it.
No, I can't imagine. Of course you wouldn't be. Look, congratulations on doing this. It's giving everyone a bit of strength, I'm sure, if you're sharing your stories, Kylie. And it's out on the 28th of November. Memories Are Forever. Good on you.
That's correct. Can I just give it a plug for where people can pick it up?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. It's on Book Depository at the moment. You can purchase from Book Depository, or if you'd like to learn more about our story, at Books by Kylie Wilkie, wilkie.com.au.
Okay, good luck for the future, Kylie.
Thanks very much. Thanks for your time.
That's a pleasure. Kylie Wilkie, author, Memories Are Forever.